What's up, everybody? It's your boy Quentin Marcellis, and welcome to the fifth episode of Carefree Queer. And I'm a model, actor, music artist. I'm also a man in many hats.
All right. Thank you for the intro, Q. This is Chaz Warhol on the ones and twos, hailing in Baltimore, Maryland, singer, songwriter, photographer, and just a creative guy within the spectrum.
Yeah, and so today, as you guys can see, we are two-fourths of Carefree Queer, of our cast, Carefree Queer. Our other two cast members of Carefree Queer are at the moment busy. So shout out to Unity and shout out to Brandelsa because they're doing some major things in their community and they are working on some projects. So we will see them again very soon. But what's been going on with you, Chaz? How's your week? I mean, you've had a lot of cool things that we can talk about, whether it be your photography business, whether it be Baltimore Pride. And I definitely have some things to talk about because I just got to performing at Tulsa Pride, so I can't wait to tell you about that. So tell me what's going on. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you basically actually just summed up everything that's been going on for the past weekend. Like we were just talking about taking pictures throughout Baltimore's Pride and the festivities. Remy Ma came out. Uh, Banger from Bad Boys East along with Relly Rel and Prince. They came out and did their thing.
First of all, Prince is fine.
He is fine, can't even lie.
He's fine.
But I'm definitely more. I love my film, so I love my film. So Relly Rel, yeah, he can get it.
Yeah,
he can get it. But it was this weekend was a good turnout. It was a really good turnout, especially when K Michelle came through and all the local acts within Baltimore came out and did their thing as well. It was good to be out this weekend. I had a good time. I had a really good time. Though I still can't stop thinking about those photos. Like I go back and look at them from time to time, like since Pride happened, and like they look really good. Sometimes I've been thinking, I hope Kim Michelle she sees them. I hope she does. Like I really do.
Okay.
Like it's gonna be amazing.
So everybody who's following the Carefree Queer page, I posted this photo of K Michelle and Chaz. So I picked this specific photo that he took of K Michelle, and she's wearing a shirt that says LGBTQ sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
So tell me what that means, because now that I think about it, I'm thinking of a lot of thoughts. So tell me what that means.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you, keep it carefree, But this is what when I peeped it when I was editing photos and everything, I kind of laughed a little bit because I thought it was just like some silly gay adjacent type shit, That's how I kind of like. That's how I kind of peeped it. Hold on for a little bit. He's gonna be back for a bit, guys. He's gonna be back.
Do you feel like that's a good message to send? Because do you feel like K Michelle has like if you say LGBTQ sometimes, do you feel like that's I don't know, do you feel like it's a problematic statement? What do you think?
When I was looking out for the crowd and everything, people weren't really paying attention to the shirt. They was more so paying attention to her performance. But as a statement per se, I feel like that would be an issue to some people who who are a little sensitive to that. I don't think she was being harmful when she wore that. I mean, everyone knows she's a straight woman. She's straight, and she dips, but she, that sometimes mean, she may dip and dab a little bit when she's in the mood or whatever. When she, you never know.
So I feel like I feel like this is a good conversation because here's the thing. I'm a little triggered by that. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm one of the people that's kind of. I know. First of all, I love K Michelle. She's a dope artist, so nothing against K Michelle. But analyzing the statement, because I don't think she's a bad person. I don't think she made a bad statement. However, there's a part of me that is triggered by that statement. And what is triggered by is the fact that straight people think that gay people are choosing to be gay, and they think that we are LGBTQ sometimes as well. Like some people think that it's a sometimes thing for us, and we can just
Like
turn
it's
on the
just
light switch, and it'll just
I definitely feel like I definitely hear and feel what you're saying because it's some people, it is some people to this day, it's some people to this day that still think I'm just going through a phase. Because
yeah,
I don't really because I'm gonna be and I'm gonna keep it. We gotta look, like I said, we gotta keep it, 100. We gotta keep it carefree. I'm gonna
yeah.
say this. Okay, yeah, puff that puff on the
Well, yeah,
loud.
I'm definitely
Yes.
going to do that because shout out to Lakeside Dispensary, who is one of our new brand ambassadors. I'm going to start working with a lot of different brands, fashion, music, a lot of different people. But ironically enough, the first brand is a marijuana brand. So I feel like the universe wanted me to blow all the smoke in my haters' faces. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, that's how you're supposed to do it. Okay, let them
But
know. But back to the
shout out to Lakeside
conversation. Yeah,
Dispensary though, and shout
yes,
out to
indeed. Shout out to
Carmen
Lakeside Dispensary.
Janet, who is going to be our next special guest. Her name is Carmen. She's going to be our next special guest next week on Carefree Queer. We're going to talk about marijuana. We're going to talk about our thoughts about marijuana, how it connects to spirituality, the stigmas, the stereotypes. We're going to get all down and dirty into it. But you were just saying that you feel like K. Michelle's shirt, it doesn't really. You were telling, what were you saying about K. Michelle's shirt? How you feel about it?
Because how I feel about it is I'm understanding where you feel that it could be triggering for you. Because, like I said, I've had people that, that would suggest that I'm still going through a phase, even while being 10 years strong as
Yeah.
a, out and proud, queer
Yeah.
gay man. Some people still think I'm still like I'm like in this I'm just I'm bisexual. I
Right.
mean, don't get me wrong, at one point I was bisexual and I was open
Mhm.
about it. But then when I realized, what I like more, I kind of,
Right. Right.
I did my thing and whatever, and
Right.
still kept it a buck, still kept it cool, and not making it a big deal about it. There are some people like myself who don't make a big deal out of it, because I know who I am and I know, yeah, I know what I am, I know what I like, I know
Mhm.
what I know, I know what I do, I know what I do isn't gonna always be, accepting with everybody, but we live in a world where everyone's pretty much a little gay now.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was gonna say. Um, I feel like, well, for me, I can only speak for myself, and I know for me, I didn't choose to be gay. So that's the first thing.
Yeah. Because it was
Two,
just one thing is, yeah.
then the other thing is when I came out, I know that if I even uttered the words bisexual, and even if I said that I was bisexual, I really wasn't, because I've never been romantically and sexually attracted to women. That's just me. Like I just not
Yeah.
even. I just never have, and it's not. And I think people think that that's negative to say, but it's not, because women
It's
are
not negative. That's your
beautiful.
truth.
That's my truth. Women are
Yeah.
beautiful. And if anything, I have more of a high regard for women than to sexualize them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I see a lot of values that I like in women. You know what I mean? Like the way that they push themselves to negativity, the way that women carry themselves professionally, the way that women learn how to let things go easier than men do. I mean, there are things about women feminine characteristics that I see in myself. So I definitely feel like women are beautiful, sexy, and all these different things. But when it comes to my sexuality and stuff like that, I think there are people out there that do think that it is a light switch. You know what I mean? Like, oh, one
Yeah.
day I'm gay, one day I'm straight, and if that's your truth, then that's your truth. But that
That's
means
your
that you're
truth.
bisexual. Let's be real.
That yeah.
And it doesn't mean
Either
that everybody's bisexual, and that's another thing.
right.
It doesn't mean everybody's bisexual, and it doesn't mean everybody's straight, and it doesn't mean everybody's gay. It just means that we all have different labels of how we identify, and that's
Right.
that's my only thing with K. Michelle's shirt. And I thought it was a good segue from the first topic that we brought up, because I feel like, well, mainly from, we haven't even got into the hot topics. We still doing introductions, but I thought this was a good segue into our topics, because I just feel like, that's a common misconception that people in
Yeah.
the straight community have about gay people, is that it's a light switch. Like, oh, well, you can choose to be with a guy and choose to be with a girl when you want.
Girl,
It's
like,
really, that's not my truth, because my truth is that if I choose to be romantically and sexually with a woman, it's not going to be authentic. It's going to be me trying so hard to be something that I'm not.
right.
And that's just the truth. And that's the reality of being an LGBTQ person, is that we live in a society, we live in a world that makes you feel like, you know, you have to pretend to be what is the norm, to be accepted and to be approved of and to get love and to get, you know, satisfaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I definitely feel where you're coming from. Because it's more so on this thing where it's just like, why should I have to, or why, why am I being made feel as if I'm just going through a phase, but this is who I am from the jump. Like, this, like even with myself, I've never, it's crazy that I'm actually saying this to you, even though I've already admitted this to myself. And it's just like, oh, I learned that, I have been at one point attracted to women, at one point. And, I've been physically attracted to them as well, but I've never penetrated them. I've never penetrated a woman. I look at women as sacred beings. Like,
and you know what? I think there are people that are going to hear this podcast and they're going to hear you say making a statement like that, and they are going to be surprised, because I think for some people, they are shocked, especially straight people. They're like, "Oh my God, you've never done that? You've never done," like, there's literally shock and surprise when a gay person tells them that they haven't done yada yada yada. But it's like, well, that's exactly why we're fucking telling you that we're gay to begin with, because you don't
exactly.
believe it. Because you don't believe it. You know what I mean?
And it's like, yeah, and it's just like, of course, yeah, I've had girlfriends, of course, And even now I can openly say, and even then when I was straight, I would say, like, even if I was gay, it's not gonna change who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like I said, like, if I can come out to my own dad, while he's leaving from work and I'm going to work, all in the same building, I can be open and express that to him and be
Mm-hmm.
proud of it, and he can accept me and shit like that. And the person who knew I was queer since I was a youngin, like, a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, then I don't have anything to worry about. So it's more so like, be the LGBT, sometimes it doesn't even trigger me,
Mm-hmm.
because again, it's all about knowing who you are, and
And,
you
and
know
let's
who you
and
are.
I want to make something clear. Let's be real. When something triggers me,
Hmm.
it's I know how to manage my triggers. So if I say something triggers me, it's because I'm saying like a thought that I haven't expressed, my body hasn't expressed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and I just feel like the things that do trigger me, like, you'll never know, because unless I want you to know that it triggers me. But here's the thing about it. If just saying that it triggers me doesn't mean that, like, I have an issue with K Michelle, I'm gonna go on Twitter and be like, girl,
Yeah.
yada 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 yada. Like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
So me, basically what I'm trying to say is, me saying that something triggers me right now is I'm really not that triggered as you may think I am. like
Yeah. It's
like
like one of
I'm
those
just
things,
like,
like,
because what you just said is dope. You just said, when I said that, about triggers, you were like, well, at the end of the day, I know who I am, right? So that's exactly how I feel about myself. Like, I mean, when I say that I have
mhm.
triggers, I definitely know who I am. So, I mean, because here's the thing, there's a lot of stuff out here that triggers me in society. A lot of people, a lot of situations, a lot of headlines, a lot of things that I could let trigger me. But I don't, because at the end of the day, that's what they want you to do, is steal your energy, steal your power, steal your focus.
They still want you out here living in fear. They still want you out here forgetting who you are. They
They
still want you out here pondering. They still
they
want you
still
out
want you
here.
living out here in their matrix, their world that they
Yeah,
created, and not the world that you
right
created for
there,
yourself.
right there,
You know,
right
because
there.
this is your world. This is your story. This is your story. This is your chapter. Like, this is the
Exactly,
world that you want to
exactly.
create for yourself. So,
So we
don't
got to
let
build that
anybody
world
take that
for
power away from
ourselves.
you.
Exactly, exactly. Maintain your power and protect it.
Yeah. So did you hear about this trans rights activist who went to a pride she basically went to a pride celebration at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. And, it was just interesting because I just feel like, well, she went topless at this pride festival. And Joe Biden was there, of course. And every time I hear Joe Biden's name, I think of what's that commercial or that saying like Joe Biden something. It's like a funny like saying that people say all the time in like TikTok videos. And I forgot what it is. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
And it's like somebody hood saying something real funny about Joe Biden. I forgot what that meme is, but anyway, the thing is that people are having issues with this trans activist using going topless as her way to express, that she wants to make a statement at a White House event. Do you think that's appropriate? How do you feel about that?
Okay, so piggybacking from what I said the last time, when we were discussing this the last time, and I said, she's, it, practically, I was sarcastically and jokingly saying she was doing too much or whatever. Like, there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
I feel like she was definitely making a statement about being, not only for trans women being, objectified in such a negative way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like taking away their voices. Mm-hmm. Wow. Taking away their voices while removing their agency. That's kind of like, I feel like that was the statement. You're silencing me while stripping me away of my rights, stripping me away from my voice, my power, all of that. That's kind of like what I got from that. But then again, I'm also gonna say, like, girl, there's a time and place too. But in the midst of that, she still owned herself, and she was like, no, I'm taking the power back. Not only just for, in a sense, not only just for trans women's rights, but for women's rights, period.
Yeah. I feel like my thoughts on this trans activist going topless at this White House Pride event is that I feel there's a time and a place for everything. When it comes to being nude, like, I don't feel like my queerness, I need to be nude to express a point about my queerness.
I definitely feel you on that. Now, that's what I was saying. Like, there's a time and place.
There's definitely a time and a place, and I don't think in my queer journey as a Black queer person, I don't think I've ever had a moment where I was like, oh, I need to take off all my clothes to prove a point. Like, I need
to make a statement. Like, I just need to, I need to pull a Erykah Badu window seat music video.
I mean, maybe I'll have Erykah Badu.
That's my girl.
Because here's the thing.
That's my girl. Yes.
First of all, that's a dope music video, and
yes, it is.
That music video is one of the music videos by Erykah Badu that stands out to me the most. Yes. When I think about Erykah Badu, actually, and it's funny because I've been to Dallas, and that's where the music video was shot, and that's where John F. Kennedy was shot.
And that's where they're both. That's where she's from, Dallas.
Yeah, and so that's probably the most creative, liberating music videos that Erykah Badu has ever done, because it pushed so many boundaries, and it's a beautiful song. It
is.
And first of all, speaking of Erykah Badu, one of my favorite, there's two things in Erykah Badu news that I think I want to mention on Carefree Queer Podcast. One of them is that Andre 3000 is coming out with an album.
Yes. I've seen that. I love me some Andre 3000.
So, and I know when I found out about this album,
he might even be on this.
Actually, I have a feeling he's going to be on this album just because they have a strong relationship, and also,
I think Tyler the Creator might be on this album.
It could be. I definitely know Frank Ocean is for sure because they have a clue. But Tyler the Creator, I wouldn't be surprised. But what I was going to say is that I read an article saying that, actually it wasn't an article, but it was on Twitter. It said that not Tyler Creator, but Frank Ocean and Andre 3000 were in Japan recently.
Mm-hmm.
Who can say? I
They
mean,
were
that's cool to
into
be in Japan with your favorite artist. What? That's
right,
the
mother.
date. That's the ultimate date.
First of all, let me be in Japan with both of them. Let us be in Japan with both of them at the
How about
same
that?
time.
How about that?
I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not
How
even gonna
about
lie
that?
to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You thought I was a big Tyler fan? You ain't seen shit yet.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't seen shit yet.
Oh, you love
Let
Andre?
alone, I love Andre 3000, but I love him with Big Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Outkast, you can't, man.
Yeah,
Props to my parents for putting me onto them because
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Outkast is definitely the music group Outkast definitely has had a big impact on me as a music artist.
had a
And
big
you
impact.
know, Hey Y'all is like one of my when I heard Hey Y'all for the first time, that was on
Yeah.
repeat for a good week.
Did you really listen to the lyrics in that song? I mean, did you really
I
listen to
saw,
what
and
he
I'm
was
interested that you
saying?
bring it up, Chaz, because I've actually seen a Twitter post of somebody breaking down the lyrics to Hey Y'all and saying how it's like, you know, I guess a depressing song.
It's a sappy song. Like it's a sappy song, but it's so like
The beat takes away from the lyrics, and it's
it's
like,
not even that. The message is really saying us as spiritual people, we are not really happy here on earth. That's basically what the song Hey Ya is all about. People, spiritual beings, like interacting through the human experience, and we are not
mhm.
happy here. That's basically what that song is saying. We're not, yeah,
Well,
we're faking the funk. That we're faking the funk out here.
and that's a very deep. That's very deep. So, y'all, Chaz caught me completely off guard because that's a very deep way to look at that
Like,
song that I have never looked at that
because
song before. So you got to give me a minute to like.
yes, because
I'm
that's
like, because
how
in
it
my
was
head
for
I think of
me.
it as a certain way, but
Yeah, because like when I was first, I was jamming to it too. But you know, when you listen to
yeah,
certain songs and when you watch, it's like when you watch certain movies as a child and then you revisit those movies as an adult and then you really understand the
right,
concept and the characters for who they are in the film. And you're
yeah,
like, damn, this is what I was introducing myself to. This is what I was trying to emulate when I was younger. Like
yeah,
damn, like these songs, like our songs that we listened to when we were younger, we listened to them as adults again. It's like, damn, he was
yeah.
really saying this, but I was thinking, I was really thinking he was saying this, or I wasn't really listening to, but
Oh,
he was
trust
saying
me,
that.
there's a lot of songs in the '90s because I'm a '90s baby. So there's a lot of songs in the '90s
Not
that
both.
you know that I listen to now, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I was like, I get it, I get it. It's like, you know, oh, I know what
What?
that meant now, or I was overlooking that lyric, but okay, okay, you know. So,
Like I catch myself when I listen to Scissors music,
yeah,
bro. When I listen to Scissors music, yo, I listen to Control.
hmm
And when I listen to SOS, I
hmm
ain't gonna lie. I was that's my girl. That's my girl, you know, around the world. All around that's my girl, Honey Grand.
hmm
But my girl is toxic.
yeah. SZA definitely has very interesting lyrics for sure, and you're not the only person who has pointed that out to me. And I think that is very interesting. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just the fact that, you know, she's talking about killing her ex. You know what I mean?
Like and
Um,
not only that, yeah, but not only that, my girl she kind of she kind of I think she likes living in her own delusion. Like when it's like it's one of those things where he's like, Sister, when are you gonna stop playing the victim?
hmm. That's a good point. I'm gonna tell you something else interesting because I think this is a really good topic actually. Because what this
Yeah,
is, what we're doing right now is talking about, I feel like talking about songs in different ways than we actually thought that they meant, right? So I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you something else that you know would be kind of like trippy. But Beyonce's song, what is this? Sorry, right? I
Yeah.
like that song, but some days when I listen to it, it gives me anxiety because it's like it sounds like somebody that does not want to take accountability. One, and then it also
But
sounds like,
because
and then it
Beyonce. You talking
also
about Beyonce herself?
just the song in general. I don't know
You
who
know,
wrote it, so
yeah,
I can't say who, if truly, you know what I mean. Like I guess I would say
yeah,
Beyonce, but I mean the point that I'm making is that when you hear the song, everybody's felt sorry about something in their life. You know what I mean? And everybody's also felt like they ain't sorry. You know what I mean? So I understand both perspectives, which everybody can because ain't nobody perfect out here in these streets. So,
right,
so there's that. Um,
right.
but the thing about it is that sometimes when I hear that song, it's like it sounds like you're gassing up a narcissist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a little bit because look. Let me tell you something about the Virgos.
Yeah.
Let me
I
tell you
mean,
something about the
apparently Virgos
Virgos.
are a big deal because Michael Jackson was a Virgo, Beyonce was a Virgo,
Hmm.
and then here's the thing: there's a new movie that's coming out on Netflix called "I'm a Virgo," and it's like the guy who was in Moonlight. I forgot the actor's name, but the guy who's in Moonlight, the main actor, the light skinned kid,
Oh
um,
yeah,
he is in a movie about being like really tall. He's like the movie is about a human a black human from the hood who is like extremely tall, like way taller than everybody else, like really, really tall, like abnormally tall, to the point where they have to CGI his tallness. Like he's really tall. Like Jack and the
I
Beanstalk tall.
think I think I've seen this movie before. I've seen
The
like a
preview,
preview
I
of it.
don't think it's come. Maybe it's came out, or maybe it hasn't. I think it has came out. So yeah, it has because I've seen people talk about it. But it's called, I believe it's called "I'm a Virgo." It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it, but that's something. Shout out to that whoever is who's listening to us that needs some Netflix recommendations. Also, Black Mirror
Yeah.
has came out.
Oh, I'm gonna have
So
to
that's
watch
something to
that.
talk about. Black Mirror. And
Yeah.
have you seen Black Mirror?
No, I haven't seen Black Mirror, but I definitely want to watch it. I hear it's like really good.
Yeah, Black Mirror is really good because what it's doing is, and it's kind of funny that I'm talking about to talk about something else, and I'm talking about Black Mirror because Black Mirror is all about humans and technology, about how sometimes the relationship between humans and technology can be blurred, and sometimes it
Yeah.
can be dangerous. So that's what
Mm.
Black Mirror. That's what the whole franchise is about, basically. It's really dope. Now, there's a new season that came out, and actually, because it's Pride Month, there is an episode on Black Mirror called "Chasing Vipers." I believe something vipers. The episode has
Yeah.
vipers in it, I believe, and the name of the episode, and it has Anthony Mackie, and then this other guy who's a famous Black actor in it, and it's an LGBTQ episode where they're playing video games. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Ooh, I can't wait for you to see it. I love it when people haven't seen something that I've seen that I think they'll like. So it's
I've never
called,
seen it.
it's an episode on Black Mirror. It's on the previous season.
Okay.
And it has Anthony Mackie in it, who's the guy who plays Captain America in Marvel.
Okay.
And it's another Black actor who's alongside of him, and he's also a famous Black actor. I'm forgetting his name right now, but you guys will look it up, and I know the people that are listening to us will look it up and they know who I'm talking about. And basically, they're best friends who have been best friends for years, and they've been playing video games for years, right? And
Okay.
that's what brought their friendship together. Is they've been playing video games for years, and then in the episode, what happens is that they have some time apart and they see each other again after a long time of being apart. And they
Hmm.
go back to playing video games again. So it's like they go back to playing the old video games they used to play. And then they play a new video game. And in this video game, it allows you to be in this virtual reality where not only can you, like, they specifically like fighting games, like Mortal Kombat and like stuff like that, like type of
Yeah.
games. But in this new Mortal Kombat game, it's like a virtual game where you can like think of like an open world video game, but like a fighting open world video game where it's like, so they basically they're in this video game, and instead of fighting each other because they have it connected to their heads, And also they have it. I think I forgot how it's connected. I think some of them it's connected to their body in some way, basically. But anyway, they end up fucking in this video game. And what's trippy about the episode is that outside of the video game, outside of the video game, they're friends who are straight. In the video game, they're not. In the video game, they're sexually attracted to one another. And so as the episode progresses, they're frustrated because things get real complicating. And so I'm not going to say much, but I wanted to give you that introduction to that episode because that's probably the most trippiest, most innovative episode that they've done that's about two Black men who are struggling to understand their sexuality. And it's dealing with technology too at the same time.
Wow.
So it's real interesting. So you should definitely check it out.
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. The show is called Black Mirror. This specific episode, it has the word vipers in it. And so check it out. Let me know what you think.
I'm gonna check that out.
Oh, I think you're gonna like it for sure.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that after we get off this episode.
It's real trippy. I think you'll enjoy it. Get some food, get a snack, and check it out. It's real trippy. It's perfect for Pride Month too. So another thing that's going on that's like huge in the news right now, which is kind of sad, but also it can shed light on some things we can talk about. What do you think about this Ocean Gate situation where this mini submarine imploded with 5 people on board? Has that taken up your mind at all? Or like, what have you thought about, like how that impacts your life in any way, and like what your thoughts are on the ocean, and like what are your thoughts on these people's lives that have just been like taken away like that?
I feel like, with the submarine, not making it and things like that, and the people that died on it, it's definitely unfortunate. It is unfortunate. However, it's kind of one of these things where they all signed a contract to basically die. They signed their life away. So this is one of these things where you're going down there, they signed their life away. They're going down to the deep, to the deep sea.
This is good and interesting,
ocean abyss. So they signed their lives away to go down to the ocean abyss to see the Titanic. It's one of these things where it's a no-brainer. What do you expect? What do you expect is going to happen? You're down. You're at the bottom of the sea. You're in the middle. Like you're in open water.
So here's my thought. I have a lot of thoughts on this. First is the whole time we thought that they were stuck in the submarine at the bottom of the ocean, which in the dark with no food, no water. Barely any water, I'm assuming, and then one bathroom on board that's small, and then you're just waiting to die.
Literally, you're waiting to die.
So that's what I thought was going on, and that is horrifying.
Yes, it is.
Horrifying. And, that's what I thought was going on, and that's very well could happen. When you take the risk of being in a submarine and going to the bottom of the ocean. So first of all, I think that it was just horrifying hearing it. I mean, I was glued to it because I'm like, that is so wild. Imagine that. I don't even want to imagine that, but imagine that. You know what I mean? Because it puts life in perspective. It puts life in perspective. It really puts life into perspective. For real.
Yeah, it does.
For real. And another thing that puts life in perspective is finding out that that's not what happened to them, but finding out that they exploded. That puts life into perspective because, I mean, from the way that they explain what imploding is, because I've been like, because I guess this was the first time that I've heard of something that tragically happened in the news, and I wanted to know like what happens to your body, you know?
Right.
So I was like, well, what happens to your body when it implodes? And so they said pieces, like literally damn near pieces to nothing. I mean, just you are basically being crushed to the point where you don't have there's like that. It's like from so many angles. You got the water crushing you, and you have the vessel, which is gonna chop you up, you know, really fast.
Literally.
You're gonna explode damn near, but it's gonna be the opposite. So that put into perspective a lot of thoughts that I had. I mean, I was like, okay, so I don't know much about the ocean. So I want to learn more about the ocean. I want to learn why is there so much pressure in the ocean? You know, so I started to look up that, like, why is there pressure in the ocean? And what I found out is that, you know, it's almost like the opposite of gravity. Where it's like, because the ocean is, because you know the ocean is like the earth, basically. The only thing that's really the earth is the ocean, to be honest. Which is the crazy thing about it, because we don't think it is, because we're humans living on land, you know, but the majority of earth is the ocean. That's number
the
one.
ocean. It's water.
It's water, exactly. And so with that being said, the bottom of the ocean is 2 hours away.
It takes 2 hours to get to the bottom of the ocean. So it takes 2 hours to get from water to back to Earth.
To get where the Titanic sunk, it took 2 hours to get there. That's what I know. That's what they said. The
it
distance.
Took them 2 hours, and my thing is, and it sunk, and they went all the way down.
So imagine this. Imagine being, if this is the case, if it wasn't the case, but first of all, I kind of think, you know, thank God that, you know, they went out the way they did, because it would be worse being stuck down there for days upon days with people and just counting the hours and the days, like freezing, losing oxygen.
Literally.
So it sounds like it's dangerous. Ocean travel is dangerous, is what it sounds like.
Ocean traveling is definitely dangerous. So yeah, it's like, it kind of has, now it actually has me, you know, really wishing my family that's going to be going on a family cruise next month. Well, as of tomorrow, and they're going to be going on, I want to say like mid-July. So they're supposed to be going on a family cruise. So it has me like really like keeping them in my prayers.
Because here's the thing, if you think about life, you know, everything, you got to consider everything as a risk.
Yeah.
So we talked about how these people we talked about how these people, they signed their life away. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, every day you're, and this is the truth, every day you're really signing your life away.
Your life away.
You know, because you just never know what's going to happen. Like, for instance, driving a car, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, you can stay prayed up, and, you know, and thank God that in most cases nothing does happen to your car, unless you're speeding and unless unfortunate accidents happen and do. And God forbid those things happen to us.
Because driving, you're taking a risk. So it's like,
you know, everything is a risk. I mean, but to, I get your point though, to willingly read over the fine print. And this is important to talk about too, as music artists, because, you know, as music artists, we overlook the fine print.
Yes. If you're not reading the fine print, there's going to be some things you're going to be encountering that you're not expecting.
So that leads me to say to everybody that's listening to us, especially to queer artists, read the fine print. Yes, because if you don't read the fine print, you may not implode, but your anger will implode. If you find out that you have music that you can't release, you find out that you are on somebody else's schedule and somebody else's time, and they can put you on the back burner whenever they want to put you on the back burner. And they own, and somebody that owns the rights to your music. They basically own your soul. Yes, because here's the thing. That's why I like The Little Mermaid. That is why I think the ocean right now is so a big thing. It's for a couple of things. I like Little Mermaid because it has the ocean theme, and I'm fascinated with the ocean at the moment. You know, because first of all, I'm a big fan of Frank Ocean, so he has the Ocean last name, and it's like ocean, ocean, ocean. I keep hearing the word ocean. I keep hearing ocean, all the things that I like. So I'm like, what about the ocean? You know what I mean? What's going on in the ocean? So I started to look up things about the ocean. Humans pollute the ocean. Fish are rising to the surface a lot more. You know, there are UFOs that are going into the ocean. There are in mythology, you know, there is a lot of talk of Atlantis, this mysterious place called Atlantis that's in the ocean. There is, you know, fables and tales of mermaids and creatures that are undiscovered in the deepest depths of the ocean that we have yet to go. And it gets me thinking. It gets me thinking that one, I think that whoever created us or whatever created humans and did not intend for us to know everything. That's number one, especially in your one lifetime. In your one lifetime, we know a lot. Humans have learned a lot. You know what I mean? But I feel like in our one lifetime, think about it. In your one lifetime, it was not intended for the creator for you to know everything. Isn't that wild?
It was. It's pretty like thought provoking when you think about it.
It's very thought provoking because it makes me believe that a lot of deeper things. And when I'm high too, I have a lot of deep thoughts. But this deep thought that I want to tell you guys is that I think, like I said, number one, this whole Ocean Gate situation. Number one, you know, the whole situation with the ocean in general and all the mysteries of the fact that the ocean has mysteries.
Right.
It's fascinating to me. The mysteries of Atlantis, the mysteries of mythical beings and creatures, the mysteries of the depths of the ocean, how deep you can go. The mysteries of all the creatures that live in the ocean, whether it be the giant squid, whether it be, which I think giant squids are fascinating, you know. And whether it be like the creatures that live in the dark at the deepest parts of the ocean, you know what I mean? I actually saw a video on YouTube of somebody who works oil rigs in the ocean, and they said a very, very scary story about being in the deepest part of the ocean and encountering a creature that they have not seen, heard about, and it paralyzed them without touching them.
That sounds like it could be, you know what? That's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that, it paralyzed them without even touching them. It could be a siren. Mermaids. It could be like that's what, you know.
Well, but, the way that this person described the creature, it looked and sounded more like a fish, which sirens are fishes, but this one looked more like a fish than a human. But the thing about it was that it was giant. Whatever. Oh no, I know what it was. It was a giant. It was a giant squid. It was a squid-like giant creature that this diver said he saw, and he said that it paralyzed him without touching him. So I think, you know, that's what I think of when I think of the ocean now, and I'm actually fascinated with the ocean right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very fascinated with the ocean at the moment. So, you know, I'm very fascinated with Little Mermaid and the story of how King Triton in the Little Mermaid was talking about, he was saying some negative stuff about humans. He hated humans. He was like, girl, I need you to stop talking about humans because they're trash.
They pollute the ocean.
They pollute the ocean. They don't take care of the ocean. So that brings awareness to the ocean. So I feel like the grander scheme of things, everybody that's listening, that it's Aquarius season. It is the age of Aquarius right now, and it is Aquarius heavy. And you know, Aquarius is the water bearer, although Aquarius represents air. So, you know, I think it's definitely Aquarius season heavy. And I think higher consciousness and collective consciousness wants us to know about the ocean right now, because we got movies like Avatar 2.
Right.
We got Black Panther and Namor. We got The Little Mermaid. Exactly. We got Ocean Gate. We got things rising to the surface in the ocean, animals dying and washing up. We got people in the military saying that they're seeing UFOs going into the ocean.
Right. It's a lot. It's a lot of recovery out here, and
Yeah.
and even with the air, it's like even with the air, with these wildfires, there's still the coal was still burning, or it's still burning through, and it's passing through.
So
air,
I'm gonna do something real interesting today on our podcast. I'm gonna just say shout out to the ocean, shout out to Mother Earth. I'm praying for Mother Earth and Earth healing energy, and because I definitely feel like our planet, it talks to us. Like, for instance, we just had a power outage in Oklahoma. And the power was out for like 3 or 4 days. And I was telling all my friends and family this, if not having the power out, if it did not teach you something, then I really want it to, because one, it teaches you that you're not in control in a bigger way that you could have ever imagined.
You're not in control as much as we think we are.
It's actually a blessing that we even have electricity. It's right. It's like somebody does care about us, really, for real, because it's a blessing to even have electricity, because the moment it goes out, it's a power. It's a power. It's the power's out. The power. You get that statement, the power, the word power. When the power is out, you feel powerless.
Exactly.
But I didn't feel powerless, and that's the key, everybody. When the power is out, you feel powerless, but that's the issue, is that you think that that's the power. The real power is you.
Right. The real power is you. You are. Once people get to a point where they're coming into their confidence, the God in them, that's when they realize their power.
And guess what? I feel like I'm preaching right now, and I hear a message coming to my spirit. But the message that's coming to my spirit right now is this: when your power is out, right, and you got to find that power within yourself, right? The thing about that is that you got to find the light.
You got to
it's
find
up
the
to
light.
you to find the light. You got to find the light figuratively, and spiritually.
Yep. You do.
You got to find the light, and you got to be the light. And you got to realize that you're always the light. You're always the light. You can decide to turn the light off, on. You can decide to let other people fuck up that light. You can decide.
Exactly.
You can decide to
you
let
can't
people
do that.
burn out your candles and blow out your candles, or you can light your own goddamn candles.
Okay.
You feel me?
Talk your shit.
That's how I feel. I mean, that's the truth, because when I started to light my own goddamn candles, I started to manifest more. And that's right. A word. And that's actually a word too. If you use your third eye, you know what I mean. Light your own candles for prayer. Light your own candles for meditation. It's a practice to light your own candles, to teach you to light. It teaches you to light your own light.
Yeah.
Find your own light.
That's right. I'm loving this.
Find your own light. So I feel like that's the message that really came to me in my darkest days, and is like the inspiration for my new mixtape coming out called On a Journey. It's all about finding your light, being on your spiritual journey, finding your light. Another thing that inspired On a Journey, of course, is Frank Ocean, because his album Channel Orange, he has a song called Pyramids. That song Pyramids is my shit. That music video for Pyramids is the shit.
Oh yeah, I've seen the music video for Pyramids.
Pyramids is like my favorite Frank Ocean music video, and it's like, man, this guy has so much potential. I mean, I'm talking about even just albums of like soundtracks.
Yeah.
He's been on the Django soundtrack.
Right.
He's been on Watch the Throne with Jay-Z and Kanye West. This guy,
he's worked with Beyonce.
This guy could have been on way more soundtracks for albums and music than he's been on. I mean, he could have done a Disney. I can see him doing a Disney soundtrack.
I could definitely see him doing a Disney soundtrack for sure. Like any of the Marvel movies and stuff like that. Even
bro. Like he could have been on. What?
He could have been on the Black Panther project. He could
He
have
could
been
have been
on
on
the
a
Black Panther movie.
He could have been on the Little Mermaid soundtrack. Shit.
Like for real.
His
Like
last name was
he
Ocean. Shit. Like he could have done something really dope with. I mean, he has the talent, the skill to do a lot of stuff. And so shout out to Frank Ocean. You know, you already know I'm gonna say shout out to Frank Ocean on here, but shout out to Frank.
right.
You know, he's been a mystery. And so let's talk about that as we close out our podcast. Do you think this idea of being a mystery, you know, does it work?
I feel like once you've built up the momentum, you have that's when you truly have the luxury to be elusive. Like when you've really consecutively worked your ass off and not only just, and not forcefully putting out content, but in a way where it's steady. Like you working at your own pace. I feel like he's worked at his own pace to where as though he has the option to be elusive.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and he's been I feel like he has the option to do it. Like it's nothing where it's like it's like he's been forced upon to be elusive or be silent. No, he had the option. He's always had the option to be elusive, and he chose the right times. He chose the right moments to be elusive.
Yeah. And that's what that's another reason why I'm a big fan of Frank is because not only, there's a lot of reasons why I love Frank, but the main reason is that, I mean, if I've ever wanted to manage somebody as an artist, there's not a lot of artists I would want to manage. I would love to manage Frank Ocean and to give him ideas like, bro, do that. Like when you take that car to Coachella, do that. Like when you like I can like I see a lot of potential for his name. I see a lot of potential how he can brand his name. I see a lot of potential with his where he can take his music, you know. So yeah, anyway, I think that when it comes to just we were talking about the ocean, that's how we got into Frank Ocean. But and when it comes to the word ocean, right? The word ocean, the ocean's been talking to us a lot. The ocean's been walking off stages and like leaving early and like the ocean has been giving us the ocean's been talking a lot lately.
It has been. I don't know. You might get your drink, man. After all, shit.
We'll see. Shit. We'll see. We'll see. But another thing I wanted to talk to you about is something else that's interesting in the news. Actually, not. It is in the news, but it's also the name, the slogan of my festival coming up. So I want to tell everybody not only. Shout out to Lakeside Dispensary, which is, like I said, one of the new sponsors of Carefree Queer. But also, I have a festival that I am creating with some other creatives in Tulsa who believe in me, my vision. They believe in my worth and my value as a person, as an artist. And we are creating the Carefree Queer Fest. The Carefree Queer Fest will be July 29th. It is a Saturday. Let me make sure I got all my facts straight real quick, y'all. Because when I shout this out, I want to make sure all the facts are straight. So it's on July the 29th, like I said. It's from 6:30 to 11:30. It is at this place called Queen Rose, which is a very artistic and eclectic house that I am super excited to host an event at. It's because you guys haven't even seen what the venue's at. So when you see what the venue's at, you're going to be like, so maybe that's coming for the next promotion for this event, for the open call that we have for queer artists. And Chaz doesn't know it, but Chaz is also going to help me with this event in a way that he doesn't know it yet, but we're going to talk about it later. He's gonna help me with, because Chaz is in Baltimore, but still a part of Carefree Queer. So I wanted to find a way to basically for him to be a part of this event. So even though he's in Baltimore, so I'm thinking of some different ways to not only get your opinion on that, but also to maybe possibly get him to perform in a way that's virtual.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I've never done a virtual show before, so that'll be cool.
So we'll figure out something innovative what we could do with technology. Because actually, another thing, if you guys are following the Carefree Queer page, I actually went to a tech meetup yesterday called Queer Coding. It was the dopest thing, one of the dopest queer events I've ever been to. They had food, really good food, clean, professional, in a very dope building, and just very unique. I can tell that they really want to invest in the queer community. And they had a panel discussion about queer people and their relationship with technology. And I think that is some of the conversations, some of the things that we're going to start bringing to Carefree Queer, because queer people and technology are the next frontier of the future. I mean, we live in a digital age right now, and we're moving in a digital age. And when it comes to us being artists, when it comes to our brands, learning how to master technology is something that you're gonna want to be on top of. Learning how to work your cell phone, learning how to promote your stuff in different ways will help to advance your career and help to advance you as an artist. So for the people that are listening, you know, definitely what I learned at this conference, definitely utilize technology for your brand, for your music, it will definitely help to take you to the next level. So I want to shout that out, but I also mainly want to say that for the Carefree Queer Fest, the slogan of the festival is "You can't ban queer joy." So, Chaz, what do you think that statement means? When you hear the statement, "You can't ban queer joy," what do you think of?
You can't rob me of my peace.
Yeah.
You can't take away my light. You know,
Right.
you can't dim my light.
Yeah.
That's what I think about when it says you can't take away queer joy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
nah, like don't strip me of my agency. You know, don't take away my pride. Don't take away don't snatch me up from my dignity, all of that, as
And
a queer person.
when I tell you the most powerful and Carefree Queer, the third eye that I have as my symbol, as the symbol of our brand, Carefree Queer. And there's two symbols. There's the scissor-tail flycatcher, which is the Oklahoma State bird, and then
Yeah.
there's the third eye symbol. The third
Hmm.
eye symbol is all about raising the consciousness for LGBTQ people, raising the
Yeah.
frequency, raising the vibration. Like that's what I want for the LGBTQ community more than anything. What I mean by, for the people that are listening that don't know what frequency and vibration is, what I mean by raising the frequency and vibration is when we have conversations, all of our conversations don't always have to be about RuPaul's Drag Race. Shout out to RuPaul. He's a dope person. Shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race. What I really mean by using that as an example is that we never talk about spirituality. We're always talking
Right.
about, love and hip hop. We're always talking about Bad Boys Atlanta and Bad Boys, Dallas or Texas, wherever they're at now. Which
Right.
I'm really giving myself away because I actually like the shows that I just mentioned. So no
Yeah.
negativity in the shows. But the point that I'm making is that just like the ocean, we can go deeper.
Right.
You like what I did right there?
I like that.
Just like the ocean, we can go deeper, and we can actually, talk about things in the queer community that are not just the surface. We can talk
Right.
about our spirituality. We can talk about our healing. We can talk about our trauma. We can talk about, and that's what that third eye is about. Let's go deeper in the LGBTQ community. Let's talk about
Yeah.
things that actually really affect us, the windows to the soul. You know what I mean? The
Exactly.
eye is the window to the soul. And also, you know,
Let's talk about the things that actually like you said with the effectors. Let's talk about the things that actually make us better queer people. Or
yeah.
let's bring up let's start up solutions that make us better queer people.
You
Instead
know
of
how I
just
see Carefree
being,
Queer too?
yeah, it's
I
like,
see Carefree Queer as a paradise for queer people.
yeah, for us to come together and talk about, talk hash out
Yeah.
our issues and to elevate our minds and stuff like that. This is a space for us to, inspire other like-minded queer people to want to do the same thing on their, if so podcasts, you know.
And that's what the Carefree Queer Fest is. It's a paradise for creative queer people. It is a
Hmm.
paradise to come to and be your authentic self and to be carefree and to express your art at its highest form, to put your value and your worth on the table for the other queer people to see. Like I'm here and I'm queer and this is who I am. This is what I represent. This is what I do. And
Yeah.
you know, meeting other queer people. I wanted to kind of be like Coachella, and I was telling other people that, you know, are helping me with Carefree Queer, the other dope people that are helping me, by the way, the Underground Collective. Shout out to the Underground Collective, which is a hip hop group in Tulsa. Shout out to Cara Don, which is a dope music artist in Tulsa that I'm working with. Shout out to Unity, which, you know, Unity is a part of the Carefree Queer podcast, and she's not with us today. But, you know, shout out to all these dope people that, and Savvy Cray. Savvy Cray is the founder and the creator of the Underground Collective, and I'll send that stuff to you, Chaz, for you to check out as well. Because I'm sure you've kind of seen some stuff, but I'll send you some stuff directly so you can check out.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically the point that I'm making is that Carefree Queer is connected to some dope people. We're connected to people on the West Coast. We're connected to people on the East Coast. We're connected to some dope hip hop groups in Tulsa right now who care about my brand and they care about what I'm doing. They see value and they worth in what I'm doing and what we're doing. So I really like the direction we're going with Carefree Queer. And, you know, as far as marijuana and as far as, you know, weed and stuff like that, I know a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about it. They have a lot of negative thoughts about it. Heck, Frank Ocean's mom has a lot of negative thoughts about it, so I'll talk to her about that when I meet her. But you know, but you know, everybody has a lot of thoughts about, you know, marijuana, like negative, positive, a lot of different things.
I mean, shoot, even my parents, it's crazy. Even my parents had thoughts about it, and they know I smoke.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing about that's what kills me. You know, it's like my thing is when you go to the hospital and you getting, you know, you're taking medicine, you know, to help, you know, rid the pain. Guess what you're taking?
Yeah. And guess what?
Right.
When you're doing yoga and meditation, it's great for those activities. That's all I'll say. For the people that enjoy yoga and meditation, you can use it. And I want everybody to understand this. You can use marijuana intentionally. You don't have to be, because here's the thing, is because the plant is going to do two things. One, it's going to show you your addictions. It's going to show you your shadow. It's going to show you the things that you can work on, because that's just what the plant's supposed to do. It's going to show you who you are. But also on the flip side, for people that like to go into other dimensions, people who like to raise the frequency and go a little bit higher frequencies, go higher to different frequencies. You know, when you're doing, you know, yoga, meditation, when you're going out into nature, to our nature walks. Shout out to me and Unity doing our nature walks that we do. We host at the end of the end of every month on Sunday. We have our Rising Sun nature walk, and I actually wrote a song called Rising Sun. But we do our Rising Sun nature walks, and we go out into nature, and sometimes we do smoke, and when we do smoke, when we go into nature, it does raise the frequency. It does raise the vibration. I can see the flowers and the trees and the birds and everything a little bit better and more. You know what I mean? I can feel the air and I do feel the sun, and I do feel like I'm in my own music video in my head, or I feel like I'm a Disney prince in my head. You know what I mean? Like just singing my theme song in the forest or in the woods. You know what I mean?
So I love it. I love it when I get a puff and I'm just like, and I'll be having my music video. I'm talking about the concept is just crazy.
So I'm putting this out there. Can we definitely? I think it'd be cool because we were talking about planning trips for Carefree Queer. I think it'd be dope if Carefree Queer goes to Disney World or Disneyland. To Pride.
I think we should I think Pride and Disneyland would be so cool. We should go. Yeah. We should go to San Francisco. We should go to the gay capital in California, San Francisco.
I would love to visit San Francisco. And have you seen the movie The Last Black Man in San Francisco with Jonathan Majors?
I have not seen it.
That's another movie that you would really. So for people that don't know, and shout out to Jonathan Majors because he's about to win this case. Jonathan Majors is about to win this case because there's some new evidence.
I've been seeing about this case. Yeah, I've been seeing it.
I've been following it. And Jonathan Majors got a bad bitch by his side. He got Megan Good by his side.
Megan Good by his side.
He got Megan Good. But Jonathan Majors is actually first of all, he is just like Frank Ocean. I'm very fascinated with Jonathan Majors.
Yes, you are.
So I'm a big Jonathan Majors fan. But the point that I'm bringing up about him is that He's in a movie called The Last Black Man in San Francisco. And he also, his first role, guess what his first role was, y'all? There's a reason why this man is dope. There's a reason why I talk about Jonathan Majors as well, just like Frank Ocean. Guess what his first role was? He played a black gay man named Ken Jones, who was a black queer activist and public speaker. And it's in a show called When We Rise. That was his, Jonathan Majors graduated from film school, and his first acting role was playing a black gay man.
Wow.
And so there is scenes of him kissing another man and having sex with another man. On there is footage of this online. But it's not negative. It's not looked at as a negative thing because he's an actor. You know what I mean? So he played a black gay rights activist, basically. So I'm not only am I manifested meeting Frank Ocean, but I'm also manifested meeting Jonathan Majors because I want to interview him and ask him about this role he played as Ken Jones, a black gay rights activist. So, and of course, Lovecraft Country. We can't forget about Lovecraft Country. That's Lovecraft Country lives in my heart. So
I need that to come back on. I loved Lovecraft Country when it was on TV.
I mean, Lovecraft Country is one of the things that inspired Carefree Queer Podcast. So if for the people that are listening out there, go on whenever you have time. Not only do I challenge you to reread the book Lovecraft Country, but I also challenge you to go on Spotify and look up Lovecraft Country Podcast. There was a podcast that would play after every episode that is directly linked to Lovecraft Country.
Oh, you know what?
And what I tell you, this podcast it's popping. They're talking about every episode. They're breaking down every episode of Lovecraft Country and what it means, why they did, like the symbolism of it was just such amazing branding. And like I said, Lovecraft Country is a cult classic at this point. And the last thing I want to say about Lovecraft Country is that there's a new book that I'm going to talk about on Carefree Queer called, it's Lovecraft Country Part 2. It's called The Destroyer of Worlds. So if anybody out there that needs a queer LGBTQ book to read, and by the way, I don't know if there's any queerness in this book. We already know Montrose's, Atticus's dad was gay. In Lovecraft Country, and that was an amazing thing to show in the Black community, like people struggling with their sexuality in the Black community in the 60s.
Yeah,
it was dope. Everything about Lovecraft Country was dope, but I can go on and on. But check out The Destroyer of Worlds. It's a new book that came out that's written by the same person that wrote Lovecraft Country, and it's a direct sequel to Lovecraft Country. It's called The Destroyer of Worlds. Nobody's talking about it. And nobody's blogging about it. It's weird. Nobody's talking about it, but I'm going to be the one. I'm going to make a YouTube video about it. I'm going to make a blog post about it when I review the whole book. I have a blog post coming out tomorrow about The Little Mermaid, my review of it. I took some pictures at the movie theater that I really liked with my friend. And so I'm excited for people to read my in-depth, review of The Little Mermaid. But basically, we are reaching the end of our podcast, and we talked about some really cool things on this podcast. And some things that I'm excited about. Chaz, his new music. Shout out to what do you got coming out for people to, to hear, to know, so they can follow what's going on with Mr. Warhol.
Yeah, so basically I got a new single out. It's called, not out, it'll be out in the next 7 days. It's called SNS, which stands for Saints and Sinners. This song is really, in my opinion, it's kind of like a Black male anthem. It's kind of like a freedom anthem in a sense. Got lines like, I'm a saint, I'm a sinner, spirits high, can you feel it? A Black man, jazzy and proud, don't you forget it. It kind of taps into that freedom anthem, that kind of like, breaking the chains kind of vibe, so it's very powerful with Black male and powerful and that freedom feel. And I kind of like that. My music definitely has a conscious vibe, and it's so crazy. I was listening to my station on Apple Music. By the way, you guys listen to my music, go look me up, Chaz Warhol, on streaming platforms. My last album, You Gotta Love Yourself, which I dropped 2 years ago, November 19th. my EP, my first EP that I dropped in 2020, Ageless, and this project that I'm telling you about, including the new single, SNS Saints and Sinners, Art Dealer will be announced within a couple months. Because I just had to push the record back due to getting the single out and another upcoming single after this, and a music video. So I'm working, guys. I'm working, but bear with me. You will get this album. Shout out to all my goats out there who are watching, who are tuning in. I love y'all.
Yes. Well, I want to thank everybody that, first of all, for the people that are rocking with us, for the people that are listening to every episode, wherever you are right now, I want to send you so much love. I want to send you so much healing energy. I want to send you so much peace. I want to tell you thank you for valuing Carefree Queer. Thank you for valuing listening to me and Chaz talk for an hour, because I think we're very valuable people, and I appreciate you for valuing us. Thank you for following Carefree Queer, supporting the movement and what we're doing and all the things that we're going to do in the future. But before we go, you can follow me, by the way, on Q Marcellis. You can check out all my 5 singles right now: Carefree Blackboard, Four Wings, Carefree Blackboard Remix, Black Wall Street, and 1111 on all streaming platforms. And you can also check out my new mixtape, On a Journey, that's coming out. That's all about my spiritual journey as a Black queer person. That's a follow-up for my mixtape, Days in the Midwest. The title track for the first song that I have a snippet of on my Instagram right now is called Rising Sun, which has a lot of symbolism to me. So make sure you check that out. But before we get out of here, we always end our podcast with a quote, or now we're going to expand it to quotes. We're going to end our podcast with a quote now, or with words of wisdom.
Okay, so my I'll have to say my word of wisdom today, or tonight, would have to be follow your heart and knowing your worth. Follow your heart and know your worth.
My words of wisdom is that you are, because we're talking about the ocean, you are you're the captain. You're the captain of your own ship, and you get to decide where you're sailing. You get to decide on that ship where you're selling your ship to. You are the captain of your soul, the captain of your ship, of your life, and wherever you lead that ship, even if that ship sinks, it's your responsibility that ship doesn't sink, because you are in control of that ship.
Right.
There's sometimes the waters can be real murky. Sometimes the waters can be real heavy, but you get to decide where your sails are sailing. You get to decide what direction how you're going to respond to the unfortunate events. How are you going to respond to the wild waters that happen in your life? That's what I want to leave you guys with. How are you going to respond to the uncharted waters of your life?
That's interesting.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Carefree Queer. Peace out.
Peace out.